Well, hi y'all. I'm out here walking in the heat. I've been working all day. Here in Texas, I work from 6 to 4. So that's good because this extra, it like tricks me into thinking I have an extra hour for some reason. I don't know. I'm not a morning person, so I don't realize what I'm doing at 6 a.m., I guess. And I was going to tell y'all a story. A little saga I've been going through the last couple of months. So I used to work in DC at Turner Construction, and one of the guys there is a retired Marine Corps general, 2-star. He's actually friends with General Petraeus, and so that general's always been really good to me, right? He's an Academy grad, Naval Academy, and I'm a West Point grad, so you know, he gives me shit about Navy versus Army. But we've been friends for, God, I guess since 2006 now. Well, anyways, he has been trying to convince me about the CV. And when he wrote me a couple of months ago on email asking if I was okay, worrying and here and there, I just said, look, it's not real. Like, I'm literally here in Manhattan, walking around, looking around, going to the hospitals, going to Central Park tents, going to all these different morgue, all these different places, you know, looking for all of this certain death that we're supposedly experiencing, and I have none, you know, like I can't prove that anybody's dying extra than normal. You know, they keep saying that they're overwhelmed at the ERs, and they're not. And, you know, I had it on tape, the video, you know, I just walk around with my cell phone. I have no idea about video editing or any of that other crap. I'm not very good at this. I'm not even good at taking selfies because I think selfies are embarrassing. I'll tell you the funny thing. When I first saw a selfie, this is years ago, when the first selfie came out, I thought to myself, oh, that poor person doesn't have any friends to take their picture. How sad. And I thought, this will never catch on. How wrong was I, right? Pretty wrong. Anyway, so I have been telling this general friend of mine, you know, look, I went out, I did all this filming, I've looked around, the homeless are still alive. I don't know anyone who's ever died of the flu in my life. I still don't. I know one person who got sick. You know, he's more than 125 pounds overweight when he got sick. And even he'll tell you that when he went to the hospital, they intubated him and tried to kill him. And he was trying to rip those, you know, they put him in a medically induced coma, you know, which is just, this is really unnecessary, you know, and he's relatively young now. He's only 60 and he's been an opera singer his whole life. So, you know, he's got pretty strong lungs in the first place. But you can't let yourself get to be really overweight. And also he had a prior injury where he had got hit by a truck and it had lacerated his liver and a bunch of other stuff. So, you know, he has a back injury. He's kind of like me. Like, we had catastrophic injuries before. So anyways, he didn't even die. And, you know, there wasn't a test for the CV either. And the tests are also like 80% false positive from what I've read. But I cannot get this guy, my friend who's the general, to admit anything. He's so stuck on like the left-right paradigm, and he's a leftist. Oh, Trump is this and that and yon. And like, I try to explain to him, I'm like, you know, you're educated enough to know about Operation Northwoods and Operation Gladio and MK Ultra and Project Monarch and all of these, you know, the sinking of the Lusitania, the Tet Offensive. I mean, on and on and on. And I can't get him to acknowledge whatsoever that the government lies. You know, I was like, what about Tuskegee, where they were giving the black sharecroppers syphilis instead of free health care? You know, what about down in Guatemala when they were giving them vaccines, saying they were giving them vaccines and they were really giving them syphilis? You know, Hillary Clinton apologized for it during the Obama administration. And I cannot get this through his head. And he was like, you know, he keeps sending me stuff from CNN. And I'm like, CNN is not a reliable news source. You know, and then he's like, oh, you know, I used to always respect and admire you. I thought you wouldn't be so close-minded. I mean, who's close-minded? You're the one who's close-minded who can only see what's on the TV. You know, I told him, I said, if you sent out a soldier to do a reconnaissance mission for you, and they came out and they came back to you with video proving what they're saying was true, would you still be trying to shove CNN's version of the story down the soldier's throat? Because that's basically what he's doing to me. Like, he has no respect for me and all of the credentials I have, and also the fact I have a degree in chemistry, right? I'm not an idiot. I used to work at Walter Reed. You know, I know how to do a recon. You know, I understand scientific method, and none of that matters, right? And he's saying to me, I said, you know, you don't even believe me when I come back with real life evidence. I was like, where are the funerals? Where are the bodies? Where are the autopsies? Where are the viral load reports? Where are they? Where are the graves? How come I keep going to different places and can find no proof, even in Manhattan or in Texas, of some massive plague? I can't find the proof of it. And, you know, somehow, you know, he's mad at me about it, and I can't even understand. I guess the brainwashing is so deep with someone like that, and that's why, I don't know, maybe he's just fucking trolling me. Like, maybe he's part of this new world order. Maybe he's a trilateralist. I need to look him up and see if I can find out. You know, maybe he's one of them, and that's why he's just fucking with me. Because, you know, I can't get him to engage me on any real talk of what the government has actually done, right? So Bush lied about WMDs and the media reported it, right? He's not admitting to this, right? If the media lies when Bush is the president, the media lies when Obama is the president, the media lies when Trump is the president. This is how it goes. I mean, all they do is yellow journalism. There's nothing more than that. It's just a little bit of truth mixed with a lot of lies all the time, over and over and over again. In fact, I finally figured out why they made us all go to digital, is because, you know, now even your local TV station here is running the same crap that you'd hear on Fox News or CNN or any of these other things. So I think that was one of the reasons why they switched everybody to digital, to make sure that everybody's getting same consistent programming. You know, now they just talk about the local nursery or whatever that has CV and here and there. I mean, it's just total nonsense. It's nonsense. Show me the bodies, show me the autopsies, right? Even in these things that they were filming, you could tell it wasn't a real body because it wasn't heavy enough, right? It's just all been ludicrous. I don't know. So that was my frustration for the day, that I just feel like I can't even get someone who is a high-level military, ex-military person who should have been well-read on all of these different scenarios and both sides of every scenario, because, you know, it's not like the government has been good to military folks. Look what they did to General MacArthur, right? Look what they did to General Patton. Look what they did to our soldiers in the Korean War. They lied and said we weren't fighting against the Chinese when we were, right? They lied. They lied and sent the soldiers over there unprepared for the Korean winter. Killed like 55,000 Americans. And we were fighting the Chinese. My battalion, when I was at a 2nd Engineer Battalion, was the one that was surrounded by the enemy, by the Chinese, and they had to burn the colors to keep them from being taken by the Chinese. And our government lied about it. And now, you know, when I was there in the year 2000, it was the 50th anniversary of the armistice between North and South Korea. We had this big parade and all sorts of stuff. But, you know, I can't understand how people that are supposedly educated can't admit to the wrongdoings that the government has done. I guess it's because it would make their service seem futile. Maybe that's it. I mean, I already faced this back in 2002 when I broke my neck and jaw and realized that all of this supposed glory and honor that was supposed to be going along with the military wasn't there at all, and that it was just a meat grinder set up to take, you know, the best people, the filet mignon, and turn them into hamburger, basically. And maybe that's why I feel that way. Like, maybe that's why I see stuff. You know, I didn't have like a 30-year career where I got promoted and turned into a general who's basically like God in the military, you know. Anyways, so that was just my little story of the day, the frustration. Although, you know, the good news is I did have one of my subcontractors called me, Jewish guy, and boy, he's wide awake. He said this is, you know, global communist revolution. You know, I was shocked to hear that. The interesting thing about Jewish people is, like, your Orthodox Jews tend to be a lot more like conservative than the ones you see in Hollywood, who are always pushing like the communist agenda. So I was kind of surprised. He was saying that one of his friends, his wife had a baby, and the baby died like 3 days after birth, and it had nothing to do with CV, and the hospital would not release the body unless they said it was a CV death. And so they agreed to it, even though the baby had no respiratory anything. They agreed to it, and they let the baby go to be buried, you know, within like the 24-hour time period they're supposed to be buried. So that's what we going on, folks. Just a whole bunch of nonsense. And for every person that I seem to not be able to wake up, it seems to be that there's more. I had one girl write to me this week over email, and then I've had several people on LinkedIn write to me because I keep being obnoxious no matter how much I'm warned about it. If telling the truth is obnoxious, well, then I'm just gonna keep doing it. I don't care. I don't know. I feel like I'm on the right side of history. In fact, I know I'm on the right side of history. I'm one of the people who would be fighting against Stalin and Hitler and all of these ridiculous freaking policies. You know, what's the difference between telling the Jews to sew a star on their jacket and forcing everybody to wear a mask? You know what's worse is actually having to wear a mask, because you're cutting off your circulation, your oxygen to your brain. You're actually harming yourself wearing that every day. So here's my horsey friends. There's that old term about having horse sense. We don't have many people in this world with horse sense anymore, do we? You wouldn't see a horse out there trying to put a mask on himself now, would you? Hell, my dog wouldn't even wear a sweater, and I kept him outside. He was an outside dog, and I was worried about him, thinking he was going to be cold because it was like 6 inches of ice on the ground and raining. Like that ice rain that we get in Texas. I put a sweater on him, and he was not happy. So, I don't know. Sad when animals are smarter than humans, or less susceptible to brainwash. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop talking. I hope y'all are having a good day. Take care. Bye.